Right. Hello, Neil Ferris. It's so lovely to get the chance to chat with you. Obviously, I've known you quite a long time because I met you first when I was at university. We'll not say how long ago that was, but could you tell our membership a bit about who you are and how you got into choral conducting and what you've been up to in the last few years?
Hey Rachel, thanks so much for having me. Hello everybody. Really nice to have the chance to talk to you, um, albeit later than this live moment that will probably need to be heavily edited as well. Uh, I'm really looking forward to seeing you all at the end of June. My name is Neil. I am a massive lover of the choral music scene in all shapes and sizes in this amazing country of singing that we have. So, yeah, really looking forward to seeing you. Well, I'll keep it brief because you'll all fall asleep. But my secret is that I wasn't really into singing until I was about 18, and then I went to Royal Holloway, University of London, where Rachel went many years after me because she's much younger than me,
Oh.
and got the bug for choral singing. A friend of mine who I'd come up with from my youth orchestra, um, she said, "Oh, I've joined the chapel choir. Why don't you fancy coming along?" And I said, "Oh, all right, I'll give it a go," because that was the time you just sort of like gave everything a go, and completely and utterly got the bug for singing. So whilst I was a first study violinist, that was my main instrument. Gradually over those 3 years, my sort of like priority changed, and um, yeah, that became my love, my my real love. After graduating, I had the chance to cover for our director of music for a term, a sabbatical term, directing the chapel, and I had an absolute blast, but had absolutely no idea what I was doing whatsoever. So after that, I decided I'd go and do some courses, some summer courses, and then I did a postgraduate at the Royal College of Music in choral conducting, and just kept on going from there. But that's kind of how I got into this game, I suppose.
Brilliant. I love it. So, yeah, so now we know that you now conduct the BBC Symphony Chorus. Well, you chorus master them, and then, you sort of have that job of getting them all ready and then handing them over to somebody else, which is quite a pressure in itself. So you did that, you do that, and then you also have your professional chamber choir, Sonoro. For those eagle-eyed members of MFE, you'll know that Sonoro are coming to our summer school, so we get to have the pleasure of hearing them sing. But you also work with Wimbledon Choral Society, have worked with, and lots of community choirs. Can you tell us a bit about why you love working with community choirs so much?
Well, it's firstly, I mean, it's been my bread and butter, um, and I mean, so when it is, you want to be the best that you can be in that environment, and I've always loved it. Always, it is my first love. I'm incredibly lucky that I get to work with the BBC Symphony Chorus, who are what were once called the BBC Choral Society. So yes, there's that where people from all professions, different. Some of them are professional musicians, some of them are aspiring musicians, but doctors, dentists, etc., etc., etc. They sort of are in this amazing melting pot that is a professional musical environment, and we're judged on the same level as the conductor, soloist, orchestra. Um, so there's that, but I just love it. I'm interested in people. I'm interested. I think people are amazing that they can be proficient in one particular part that isn't their job. They can be amazing at their job or whatever they do in normal life, and then they're amazingly proficient at singing. So I'm interested in people. I have developed a way of just all those things, just judging where a room you might have different abilities in the same room, of making sure everybody feels like they've achieved something in this environment that we're talking about in June. By the end of the day, they feel they really achieved something. But in terms of how I see it, yes, it's been my bread and butter, but it is a genuine love of mine. And I get to work at Leith Hill Music Festival in Surrey, which is a collection of a dozen village and town choirs that come together and sing together a big piece as part of the festival. And I go round and see them in their little choirs and take a bit of a rehearsal, and then they all come together and I take a rehearsal. So again, there's lots of different abilities in the same room, and we just have to get on with it and give everybody a really good time. But giving everybody a really good time is also having the sense of achievement, either via a concert or by the end of the day that they go out tired but dancing still.
I love that. That is exactly how I feel with all these wonderful choirs and groups that we work with as well. So that leads on really nicely to the pieces that we're going to be
Yeah.
doing. So we're doing our Choral Inspirations. Now, this is something you sent to me, and I thought, how fantastic. I mean, I've sung Jesu Joy so many times at so many weddings, and I probably would, pass over it now. But the idea that it's been reimagined, sort of had a rebirth with these lovely new compositions. Can you tell us a bit about, were you involved in putting that project together with Sonoro, and tell us a little bit about the pieces that we can expect to sing?
So Sonoro next year is 10 years old, and this was the first Choral Inspirations project was one of our first big things that we did, and we were very lucky we got some money from the Arts Council of England to support it. And with my co-director, who is the amazing composer and arranger and pianist Michael Higgins, we sat down and thought, okay, what is it that we're going to do that's going to have some meaning? And we came up with the idea that if we commission a group of 6 composers initially to write companion pieces or twin pieces or answering pieces to 6 choral classics, but also make videos and recordings, because for composers to get their material sung and out there, disseminated, performed more than once. I mean, we all know the phrase world premiere and world derniere, and all that kind of thing. It's really important that that those materials are there to support the composer in getting their new pieces heard. And we were quite lucky. We weren't really too specific. We gave the composers a list, a short list to choose from,
Okay.
of choral classics, if you like. So you were saying in this second project that the majority of pieces that we're doing have been chosen from Jesu Joy, but Brahms' Geistliches Lied. There's what are the other ones? Remind me,
We've got the
because
L.
in total there are 24 pieces, so it's like Elgar, the Spirit of the Lord, and what's
And the last one we're doing is the Franck, Panis Angelicus, one that
oh
we all
yes,
start
yeah.
with.
Yes, which of course we're cheating with that because that wasn't a really originally a choral piece, but there we go. We'll pass over that. And so with these originals, to give them some kind of meaning, but also for choirs to be able to put together, because I know how hard it is to put together a contemporary program, because you spend a disproportionate amount of time on the contemporary pieces usually. So with the first set, well, with both sets, you've got a half of music, which is a lot of contemporary music, but sort of, if you like, with some familiar or easy, quick wins in terms of rehearsal time. So we're recording them and videoing them as well, for the composers to have sort of tied in links. It makes it much easier to program. And what we've found is that The pieces that we've commissioned have got straight into the choral repertory. We're very lucky they've been taken on and recorded by other choirs. They've been broadcast. The BBC singers have done some of them. Some amazing choirs have taken them on. But also, what is best about it, from my point of view, is that a lot of amateur and community choirs have taken some of these pieces on. So you're going to have, if you like, there's about the date that we are doing together, there's going to be so much familiarity in terms of, and you can listen to these pieces in advance as well. There's going to be enough familiarity that you can, right, okay, I can get into this.
Yeah.
But then when you're going to find with the new pieces is that there some of the composers, because we sort of threw it up in the air, left it completely to them. If they just simply wanted to take the title and write something new, then great. Other composers, you can hear the original piece in it.
Definitely. Elga, the beginning.
To a greater or lesser extent, yeah. So with the Elgar, it starts exactly the same, the first two chords, and then the third chord with Ollie's beautiful sort of added harmony in the third chord, you just go, oh, wow. And for Gareth's piece with the Jesu Joy, that you can hear echoes of the chorale aspect from the original. But what he's done is, instead of a chorale now, he's taken it and made it sort of sound like a Bach motet.
Oh, amazing.
And with our composers, the brief was that it should be singable by amateur singers.
Yeah.
And so Gareth's piece can go at a fair old lick, it's quite fast. But all the fast notes are all in step.
Yeah.
So there's nothing that is complicated. You're not doing any complicated leaps. So the satisfaction is, oh, we've sung a really fast, new contemporary piece, and it hasn't been too much hard work.
I love it. I love it.
It's a whole load of fun. So our composers have been very clever. You can access it, and certainly I've done, and the whole idea with this project is that we'd workshop it. So we've taken it to choirs in Chester, in Birmingham, in Cardiff, in Newcastle, even in London, and so
and now Nottingham.
And we've workshopped the pieces, and quite often we've got through. So each project has had 12 pieces, 6 old and 6 new, and quite often we've got through all 12 pieces in a day satisfactorily. So
well,
yeah, that's the kind of day you're up for.
Oh, it just sounds
Have I sold it?
You sold it to me. I mean, I've been listening to little bits, but you've made me want to just sort of wait and see until the day, because I sort of want that surprise element. I think that's what is going to be so lovely for people to hear something. Yeah. Oh, I know this so well, and then but I really, this is just different. I can't wait. Thanks for telling us about it. So you were about to say something, were you?
I was going to say the one other thing I've got to say. I mean, the Rebecca Dale's piece on Panis Angelicus is just stunningly beautiful, and it's so good that the BBC Concert Orchestra have commissioned an orchestration for it that I will be doing and recording this weekend with the BBC Concert Orchestra. So that's the kind of that's kind of things that are happening with these pieces. So I promise you, lots of people have really loved these pieces, and I know you're going to as well.
That's so great. I love that, because the BBC Concert Orchestra have a residency in Nottingham, so we're very fond of them. That was really good news. I love it. Well, what a great thing for you to commission, and I love that you've helped all those composers and to just get a little bit, I mean, they're all wonderful composers, but for everybody to hear about them. We've got a couple of Michael Higgins pieces in our Daytime Voices repertoire this year, so
great.
Enjoying some of his stuff. Fantastic. Right, I'm just going to do a quick fire question with you. Are you ready, Neil? Okay. So I'd like to ask you, what is your most memorable conducting experience? This is going to be so hard.
Okay. St. Peter's Basilica in Rome.
Wow.
Would probably be up there.
The echoes. Did you have 6 conductors helping you?
Yeah, exactly. So we were right up at one end, so it felt a bit sort of closer. So I felt quite close to them, but then it was nice to hear sort of the playback.
Wow.
Um,
Sorry, that was a really
and
horrible first question, wasn't it?
I tell you what, I'm so lucky in the summer to be to work at the Proms, and the most spine tingling feeling is when you go there. In there, there's always a rehearsal on the Thursday night before the opening night on the Friday, and the first not time in the summer going in on the Thursday night when it's before the rehearsal starts and the building is almost empty, and it always takes my breath away.
Oh,
It's
fun.
such a beautiful building, and it's there's sort of the frisson of excitement for the sort of the 8 weeks to come. Is yeah. So not exactly a conducting memory, but
Well, you've beaten me to my next question, so I'm going to let you. You don't have to say coming to Nottingham as your answer, but what are
yeah.
you most looking forward to this summer in your conducting?
August the 6th. August the 6th. Coming to well, in fact, I'm really sorry. I won't be able to come because I will be busy at the little festival in South Kensington. But I will miss you on August the 6th, when my fabulous colleagues are coming up to see you on your summer school. But this summer, I'm most looking forward to the first night. The first night is always the most exciting. I mean, for me, the last night, yes, it's exciting for everybody else. For me, it's kind of there were so many things going on, and yeah. So the last night is far too stressful. But the first night, we are doing an amazing piece by Vaughan Williams called Sancta Civitas, which has the BBC Symphony Chorus in, the BBC Singers, and lovely friends from London Youth Choir, who we did a joint project with Sonoro a couple of months ago. No, a month ago. So I'm really happy that they're going to be joining us as well.
Oh,
So
and
that's going to be my favourite one.
what date is that? When does it start?
That is Friday, the 18th of July, I think.
It's sad because we will have all met you, and I know that all of
So
MFE
you're
are
going to watch on the telly,
yeah,
on the
exactly.
telly box, or
Amazing.
listen on Radio 3 and BBC Sounds.
Right. Okay. So here we go. Here are the quick ones.
Okay,
Frank or Elgar?
Elgar.
Elgar or Bach?
Elgar.
Ooh. Okay. Elgar or Brahms?
Brahms.
Okay. Brahms or Bach? You're still gonna go Brahms, aren't you?
Bach.
Oh, we've changed all the way back.
Because yeah, but you see, it depends whether you're asking about the composer or the piece.
Well,
But without Bach, you see, we won't have any of the others. So it has to come full circle round. So there's kind of method in my madness.
I like it. It's good. It worked for me. Okay, final question. Be very
Yeah.
careful with your answer. I know this, but many of our membership won't. Um, the conductor is obviously, the person who's in charge in the room. But Neil, you're married.
Supposedly.
You're married to another conductor, aren't you? She's probably Joe.
So you'll get to see Joe if you're coming on the summer school. Joe's going to be in charge.
I was just going to say, who's in charge at home? Is it you
Who's
or
in charge at home? Well, I have to say, I don't know. I don't know if she might agree, but I would say it's very much a partnership, with work and with play and with parenting as well, because that's just how it has to be. So yeah, the same with cooking, uh, as well. But yeah, so my wife Joanna Tomlinson is an amazing conductor and singer, um, and she conducted the National Youth Choir, the girls, until last year, for 5 years. But she's an incredible singer, sung with lots of the best choirs in the UK and abroad. Um, and so, yeah, it has to be because Mondays and Tuesdays are her rehearsal night. So I'm at home with Tommy, our 4-year-old, and usually Wednesdays and Fridays I'm out at the BBC, and then we have weekends where we have concerts. So she's off and I'm at home, and yeah,
Real
It's quite
struggle.
heavily diarised. We
I
have
bet.
one of those diaries where you can see both diaries on the same screen, and yeah,
Amazing.
yeah,
Well, we are so lucky to be getting you in June and then Joe in August. What a partnership. And thank you so much for talking to us about this project. I absolutely can't wait. I know that we've got about 60 people signed up already.
super.
So that's
Yeah,
fantastic already, but I hope that we will manage to get right over 100 and get lots of people interested in coming and hearing these
yeah.
works and singing them properly for the first time. Thanks for talking to
Fab.
me.
Thanks for having me, Rachel. That's great. Look
Oh,
forward to seeing everybody at the end of June.
hooray! Thank you.